Hey, this is Steve with KellerHealingArtCenter.com. I wanted to do a quick video today on the fact that you're not broken. A lot of people think that they've gone through things in life, experienced disappointments, had things happen to them, and that they're like fundamentally broken, unfixable, or at least the very least, a massive project to fix. And in doing a lot of coaching with people on an individual basis, I really found out that's just not the case. And sometimes it's very freeing to realize that it's not the case. So I just want to give you some examples here. Currently I have this gorgeous Lexus car I really love. It's a Lexus GX460. It can seat 7 people. It is crazy quiet, has tons of power. In the summer, it will cool my butt. In the winter, it will warm my butt. It has an amazing stereo. Just crazy amounts of features, okay? But you know what? If one of the battery cables is loose, nothing is working, okay? And it would be very easy if I didn't know anything at all about cars to be like, look, this thing won't turn on. The air conditioning won't work, the engine won't work, the seat heaters won't work, the stereo's not working, it won't move anywhere. It's just like the only thing it's good for is sitting in my front driveway. Might as well scrap it. Well, wow, nothing could be further from the truth. I had a couple experiences where I used to have this Ford Diesel Excursion, huge car. It was a great car, towed massive stuff, haul all our stuff all over the country, but man, it kept on breaking down on me every 500 miles, and it was crazy. I got repair estimates at like $10,000, $5,500. Just insane stuff. And really, one of the biggest things that was wrong with it that I finally fixed the car with, a BB. Yeah. The fuel pressure was low and was causing all sorts of problems, and I put a BB under a spring, and it fixed it. I did a few other things to it, but that was one of the main things. A stinking BB. And man, I was ready to drive that car off a cliff. But it wasn't fundamentally broken. It was fundamentally an incredible machine. So one of the things that can cause people huge issues is pride. And this may seem weird when we're dealing with people who think they're fundamentally broken. But what will happen if you think that your problems or your issues are so impressive and so serious? I'm not downplaying the fact that you've gone through some stuff. Okay, I'm not doing that. But when you exalt your problems up to a different level, you tend to discount any solutions that might come by. And, if you like reading the Bible has some pretty serious things to say about pride. And pride is not an emotion you would connect to someone who thinks that they're really screwed up. But when you take the level of how much damage you think has been done to you and you exalt it above everyone else's situations, it's pride. And what happens is if a simple, effective solution comes by, if you're in pride, you go, oh, yeah, that won't work for me. I have like real serious problems, So that's one very, very serious thing to look out for. In general, this is what I've found, the New Testament says that God's kingdom, or his way of doing and being, is 3 things: righteousness, peace, and joy. And righteousness, we're not talking about like living your life perfectly. Nothing could be further from the truth. It has to do with getting a super clear understanding that God has absolute unconditional love for you that's not connected to any performance. And when you can get super, super clear on that, the amount of freedom you can get is pretty spectacular. If you get clarity on that, you're going to quit worrying about what other people think or what has happened or not happened to you or how well you're performing, or, it frees you up in a massive way to get peace and joy, okay? Now, I want to give you a couple examples of how quickly someone can really shift, okay? And a lot of this is examples of stuff I've done with my coaching clients. I just want to say there's, as my wife says, there's more than one way to add up to 10. There are a fair amount of pretty quick, effective ways to change your mental, emotional makeup. One of them was years ago, I met this young woman who related to me that she had major fear of being alone. And this was when I was just starting out working with people, and I'm like, hey, come on over. I want to experiment on you. Because honestly, I was looking for somebody with some serious problems to practice on. And she came over. Long story short, she was living a lesbian lifestyle, but without me asking her, she said at the beginning of our coaching session, she goes, I wasn't born that way, but I don't have to spend any time alone. In other words, she was consciously choosing an alternative lifestyle simply to avoid being alone. And when I asked her how bad it was, 0 to 10, she goes, oh, about a 30. And I'm like, okay then. Well, doing some testing, we tracked down, something that can often happen with people is they go through life and they simply blow a fuse. And when you identify exactly how what fuse was blown, you can reset it very quickly. That's a story for a long video, but check out my website. I explain a lot of that. But what we did for this young woman is we tracked down and identified 4 specific things without me telling her life story. This is me telling her, you have this issue at this age. We tracked down and identified the second time she tried to kill herself with drugs, the first time she tried to kill herself with drugs, the first time she got kicked out of her house at 9, and then the second time she got kicked out of her house at 12. And that took about 45 minutes. And then I asked her, how are you feeling now? And she goes, a 2. And I'm thinking, we're not communicating here, right? So I asked her, I go, okay. I'm like, you're home alone one night and the power goes out. What are you going to do? And she's like, I might have to call someone. I'm like, okay. So the next time I saw her, in fact, every time I saw her after that, I'm like, very curious. I'm like, how are you doing? She goes, fine. She goes, I like spending time by myself. No, thank you. So you could have looked at her situation to begin with to think that, wow, she needs like years of therapy and she's fundamentally screwed up and major issues but it wasn't really the case. It was a quick fix. I had another young girl who was deathly afraid of dogs, worked with her for about 45 minutes, and she pet my pit bull on the head as she walked out of my house 45 minutes later. One of the areas that I want to encourage you in specifically is the area of overcoming broken relationships, ex-husbands, ex-boyfriends, ex-girlfriends, whatever. When people are that close to you, they tend to really do a number on you big time. And sometimes it can be hard to think that you can overcome the situations or what you went through or the damage it did to your psyche and your emotions. And I'm here to tell you it's just not the case. Absolutely, you start rewiring and getting clarity on where you get your value and shifting that, and you can make fundamental changes very quickly. And a lot of times I definitely see, changes in 60 minutes in my clients. Anyways, I hope that helps. Just be encouraged. Number one, you're not fundamentally broken. And that is a very important view set to have, because if you have that mindset, when a simple solution comes across your path, you will be open to it and you'll take advantage of it and you'll get better. But if you think you're just all kind of screwed up and no one can help you, guess what? No one can, because you won't ever take advantage of any decent solution that comes by. Anyways, hope that helps. If you have any questions, be sure to check out my coaching website at kellerhealingartscenter.com. Give me a call if you have any questions about that type of coaching, or any questions in general. Happy to chat with you, and happy to point you on to some free resources if that's what you need, or talk about doing some coaching for you. Thanks.